What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that sub button. We're going up. We're gonna be breaking down the YNW Melly case situation like nobody ever has, nobody ever will, and nobody ever is doing. Again, I started the series because I'm a huge fan and I'm seeing in these YouTube streets that nobody is covering this. Episode 1, we went pretty broad with it, with the situation. Now in episode 2, we're gonna dive into the real reason why Melly, or Melvin, if you know, you know, is really into this situation. The evidence. Let's get into it.
So when the shooting happened, YNW Bortland told police it was a drive-by. Some random shooters on the street is what he conveyed. Or some would say he attempted to convey. But here's where it started falling apart. First, the bullet wounds from the victims, YNW Juvie and YNW Sack Chaser, did not match what Bortland described as a drive-by. Why is that, you may be asking? Well, forensic experts said the shots came from inside the car, not outside. Now let's think about this. If the bullets came from inside, obviously, this wasn't a drive-by. At least not in the traditional sense. Shells were found inside the vehicle? How is that possible from a drive-by? Also, the pattern of the bullets, the trajectory, was not lining up, with the shooter being outside of the vehicle. Second, phone records showed that Melly's phone was moving along in accordance with the Jeep they were all seen getting into after the studio session. What's the problem with that, you may ask? Well, for one, Melly claimed he wasn't there. GPS data from his phone portrayed a different story completely, putting him in the location of where everything went down. Third, surveillance footage from outside the studio, as mentioned earlier, showed Melly, Juvie, Sack Chaser, and Bortland all leaving together collectively. But here's the kicker. There was no footage that showed a drive-by shooting happening anywhere nearby. Fourth, Melly's lyrics were used against him, which, first of all, I want to say myself personally, I think that is absolutely ludicrous when the system tries to use artists' lyrics, their arts, to try to convict them in the court of law. I think that's completely crazy, but that's another topic for another conversation altogether. Prosecutors pointed to Murder on My Mind and other songs to show that Melly rapped about killing, not only correlating to his best friends, but setting the tone that, at bare minimum, this is someone who has homicidal ideations so frequently, he has no choice but to release the losing battle in his mind somehow. Whether that's music or actually physically seeing those ideations through. The argument is that it wasn't just music. It was reality. On top of that, we've got witness tampering from inside of the YNW collective crew. Remember we talked about how Bortland got locked back up in the first episode? Well, again, we're not going to hit that just yet, but that all coincides. Not only that, they're saying that tensions grew within the collective, the group, and there was questions of loyalty or disloyalty from each and every one of them. They also say Melly wanted out. He wanted to go solo and do his own thing. On top of all of that, they're trying to create a narrative that Melly's mom had something to do with the actual homicides because she was beefing with some of his friends. On top of all that, the craziest part there's talks that a key piece of evidence, a phone that could either make or break the case, went, quote unquote, missing while in police custody. That's part of Melly's legal team's defense that they keep fighting for, to try to receive either dismissals or mistrials. Regardless of the phone, prosecution is remaining steadfast, saying that they're going to be able to still convict him with or without that phone. What they have is not circumstantial, and everything is pointing to one scenario, that being that Melly is ultimately going to be found guilty for these 2 homicides. Guys, episode 3, we're going to be diving into the defense's strategy. Going into it, peeling the layers back on the onion, going below surface level, like I like to say. Because it's not as one-sided as you think, I promise you. Now, if you're rocking with the series, guys, and the channel, like, comment, subscribe. You already know. I don't have to keep saying this. You know this. You know what to do. You know what to do. I appreciate everybody that's made it this far. Comment Melly so I know that you made it here. And what do you guys think about the situation? Do you think he's guilty? Do you think he's not guilty? Do you think he's going to be found guilty? These are all different questions. Are you a fan of him? If so, does that help or hinder you in seeing this from an objective point of view? Guys, love you guys. Again, comment, subscribe. Welcome back. Episode 3 coming soon.